Started with 500, on my way to a mil, closed over 100 deals. Can't change us. It's the game changers. It's the game changers.
You want to ask yourself every single day, am I doing everything possible to reach that goal? Don't get too far of yourself. Stay in the moment, stay grounded, and continue to push every single day. Welcome to the Game Changer Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah Bryant, and we got a special guest with us today. We got Gary from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. How you doing,
man?
Bro?
How you doing, man?
How you liking Florida?
It's smooth so far, man. Decent food, beautiful weather, weird people, but I love it, man. I'm playing this beautiful people.
So let's bring them back. You know, this is our first podcast. So where you from? And talk about your upbringing.
Okay. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Midwest, if y'all don't know, yes, there's black people in Wisconsin. It's not all farms and dairy and all that good stuff. It's a city with people and problems. Upbringing, pretty much grew up athlete. You know, my pops was a professor, drill sergeant. Mom's was a professor, so they was heavy on education. Yeah. I wasn't. It's an awful student.
What sport you used to play?
Football, basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, man. The football, played for University of Concordia, Chicago for a bit. Tore my ACL, was done with that. Almost played for University of Charlotte. Decided I was done at that point and kind of went into other avenues. You know, I also have a background in the music industry. I'm a songwriter, artist, executive. And then I was in the poetry scene, like spoken word, for a real long time, like deep in that. And that kind of was my background until I switched over into learning real estate.
Okay, so that was like right before you got into real estate. That's what you was doing?
Yeah, I was in the music industry heavy. I also was working for Wells Fargo. I was in the banking industry for a bit. Okay. Hated that. Realized real quick I wasn't nobody's employee. Yeah. So like, I don't like nobody stunting my growth. So I realized really quick that I was set for other things. So when they fired me, I promised. They were surprised because I cheered. I was like, "For real, you promise?" Yeah, like they were kind of scared because they was like, "What are you happy?" I'm like, "Cause I ain't gotta be here no more." Yep. So, yeah.
So now, in terms of real estate, what was your first, avenue in real estate, and how'd you even get acquainted? Why real estate?
So after tearing my ACL, you always start thinking about life after football, like what else can I do? And it wasn't like I was scrambling to figure it out. Like I always knew I wanted to be in business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But real estate was always something that resonated with me. So even before I really grasped the concept of wholesaling, like I was looking into, being a broker or agent, depending on your state. I always had a fascination with development. So my uncle was an economic developer. So before I even knew what he did or what that was, I just knew that he always had a real nice house and he was always talking to important people. Yep. And it was just like, I just want to do something like that. Yeah. But it was good seeing an example of that as a young kid, because then you see the opportunities outside of your environment. And that was important to me to know. I wanted to pursue something in real estate. So First Avenue, tried my hand at being an agent and being a broker. I failed my broker's exam in North Carolina 6 times before I passed. Wow. But it was only because I thought too much like a developer and not a broker. And the difference is a broker, the reason you get your license is to do transactions on behalf of other people. But when you think like a developer and you're putting everything together, it's really hard to think that boxed in. Yeah. So I kept failing certain parts. Yeah. And it was always down to the legal side, but eventually I passed it. And the funny thing is, I've had my license 5 years. I've only done 1 transaction on market.
As a broker?
As a broker.
Wow.
And it wasn't even a residential deal. It was a commercial leasing deal for my guy in Milwaukee.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's my first deal on market. So it just went to show there's no set path. It's just you just got to do it.
Yeah, like real estate, there's so many different avenues in real estate that you could get involved. And they all could kind of intertwine with each other too.
They do, especially certain lanes of development, which is a really big arena, but it's a small world at the same time. Like that's one of the reasons why I kind of went further in that direction of land and everything. So that's why like my first few deals was all like land based. And then once I figured out that that was second nature to me, because I knew about zoning, I knew about the laws, I knew about the broker side, I knew about the construction side.
Yeah.
I was like, I might as well just make this my thing. And then it just grew.
So what was that first land deal?
Let's see.
I said, bring them back.
My first land deal was about 2020. Everybody know that story, fishing for your first deal, like you doing everything you said you wouldn't do. Like, I ain't cold calling, I ain't trying to talk to people telling me no all day. Other people scared about that. I just wanted to talk to people that was interested, but eventually you just gotta say F it. And like, all right, I'm gonna just grind. So I'm calling 50 calls a day. Finally get a person on the phone, you know. Well, you try houses and you talking to everybody, there's always politics with it. It's like always 5 other people offering. And I realized like I didn't want to do that. So I pulled a land list in Gastonia, Gaston County. And I remember I called this guy. He was like, yeah, this is my lot. Take it if you want, $5,000. I was like, all right, if you say so, buddy. You know, shot him the contract. I'm like, man, this shit finna fall through. Because really, prior to him, I had gotten 3 other deals under contract, but all of them fell through. Title issues, liens, floodplain. So you learn real quick how to like look for the fuck ups in a deal before it actually becomes like a deal. And it's just like a lead at that point. So, but I got this dude locked up. He said he wanted $5,000. I'm like, okay, now how do I find a buyer? Yeah. So I shot it on Facebook Marketplace. I shot it on, I pulled a list on Propstream and shot out like the cash buyers in the area and called this guy. He actually, the guy that bought it, he called me, picked up the phone, was like, yeah, I'll buy it right now at 17.5. I was like, okay. Closed 12 days later, made my first $12,000.
Damn.
That was like my first like real actual land deal.
And that didn't take that long either.
Nah.
So like, how did that feel knowing that it was like a short process? Did you feel like you hit the jackpot?
It was over, bro. Like proof of concept, like I'm obsessed as hell. Like I'm an obsessive person when it comes to like finding something I really like. Like I study it, I learn it, like I live it. So once I found out that that was an avenue and that nobody else was in, I dove in and I just mastered the market. Like I just was that land guy, and I've been a land guy for about 5 years now.
That's what's up. So now you got that first deal, made that 12,000. What was like the next steps after that? Did you stay in this Gastonia market? Did you venture out?
I believe my first 5 deals was in Gastonia. Just because I knew the market, I understood it. I already had the buyers lined up. I didn't have to look too far. And then they started telling me about other markets they wanted to be in, you know, surrounding counties of. So for y'all don't know, I'm actually living currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I kind of work the North Carolina market primarily, and everywhere around that just became gold. So I would drive around, everybody would just see dirt, vacant land, trash and shit. And I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? What? So that's what I did. Like I just went around, mastered that market. I kind of expanded out just all around it. I did my first pretty solid deal in Charlotte. Like my biggest deal in Charlotte was like, what did I make? I made about 60 grand. 60 grand off one lot.
How'd you get that lot?
So, text messaging, man. Like,
it's crazy. Like, you ain't even speak to the person.
Nah, bro. Like, most of I promise, of all the deals I've closed hundreds of land deals. Like, I don't even know the number, to be honest. Like, I lost count a while ago. But of all the deals, like, I would say 70% of them was all text messages. Like I barely call and talk to people unless it's like ironing out a fine detail, letting them know that they're the expert on the other side of the transaction to ensure their comfortability or to ensure that I get an offer pushed through. Like certain details you can't leave to your team or certain people because it's too important to let go. And when you taking that mentality, I always kind of make sure I closed out my deals, whether I talk to them first or not. So, yeah.
It's just crazy, like with this business, like I have 11 deals in the pipeline right now. 9 of them is from text messaging where I didn't have to speak to the person.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't have to, negotiate over the phone. This is straight through text messaging. And that's why I love this game, because a text message could land you 10,000, 20,000, however much.
Yeah. Like it's really just systems is the name of the game. Like you can be as hard of a hustler as you want, but systems is gonna be the thing that really pushes you over the edge because don't let it be confused, y'all. I'm not that hard of a worker. I am a smarter worker.
Say that one more time.
I am a smarter worker. I'm not a hard worker. Y'all working 10, 12-hour days. I'll probably work 3-4 hours a day. And each one of them days, I'll make 10 to 20 grand in just either conversation or actually like negotiating. Just because I've set up a system to maximize what I do best while I've created a team to take care of the other facets of the business that I don't really like to do. So I'm not an organized person. I'm a great negotiator. I'm a great people person. I am a nerd. I will study the market and learn numbers, study laws, sub-laws. Like I do that all day, which is why I got into development. But I'm not gonna hound you. I'm not gonna pursue you. I'm not gonna beg you to make this deal close.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna send paperwork. I'm gonna have my team do that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just make sure it gets home and make sure that we have the information we need to make educated steps and decisions to get it done, to close.
That's what's up. So what's your team look like right now?
So right now, it's my boy Martin, my partner. Shout out Martin. He's a GC. I got my homegirl Drea, who is a commercial broker, and she's our lead assistant. I got my guy Justin, who is also another land expert and works for Stanley Martin, which is a national townhouse multifamily development company. So, in terms of our entitlement deals and development deals, we work really closely with them. My sister, who's also a broker. And then I got my lady, who's also an executive assistant.
That's what's up. It seemed like you got like a very niche down group like that.
Yeah.
Everybody plays a huge part. You got, a developer, you got GCs, you got Stanley Martin employees. So you got every piece that you kind of need to make this happen
100%.
In a bigger scale.
100%. And it's funny because even though that's not everybody, I have a lot of other really important pieces, but it's all about relationships. And the strength of your relationships is going to be determined by the team you bring to the table. Because a lot of people really look at deals so small. Like a lot of people are so busy going after fish. I'm going to get all the fish I can. But if you learn how to work the rivers, you're going to eat forever. So it's like you got to know how the system works. And if you know how the system works, you know your place in it and you know how you can maximize your place in it. So that's just kind of what I've implemented with my team in terms of entering the bigger arena of development.
For sure. So let's talk about one of those deals. What was your biggest deal?
So my biggest deal to date, I made 150 grand. Well, the deal generated 150 grand and I made a third of that. So basic deal, Gastonia, prime market. As I started getting deeper into selling lots, I kept hearing this word entitlement.
What's an entitlement for the viewers?
For the ones that don't know, so entitlement is the process of taking a piece of land and turning it into a project. So you're taking a raw 5-acre land and turning it into a 30, 40, 50 acre unit, 30, 40, 50 unit development. And you're going through the process of the government, the municipalities, you're dealing with, lenders or architects, surveyors, and all those things you're kind of dealing with to see this project through to being recognized as a project. And then they entitle that with the county. They'll stamp it. And then at that point, you've taken the value of this raw piece of 5 acres land to a full townhouse development.
Yeah.
And that's the entitlement process, or even just subdividing land.
Now, in terms of this deal, like, did you have any experience doing this before you did it?
I had experience on a consultant basis. Now, one of the things that I kind of had an advantage on is because I was a land expert and I was known for my analysis ability, I was able to be brought on to a lot of other deals as an analyzer. So when I was going there, I was looking at these deals. I was able to read numbers. I was able to look through their processes, see what worked, what didn't work, and fine tune that to my process to avoid their mistakes. Or I kind of took my own project on and it failed because, you trust the wrong people, but you really live and you'll learn with certain experiences. So all that kind of worked my experience to being able to know how to properly.
So was this like a joint venture deal that you got?
It was a joint venture deal. So they brought the dirt, had no idea what they were doing, just another wholesaler, had no clue what they were doing. And we needed the money in order to split the lot, get it subdivided and your appraiser and all that. Because at the time, like, we had capital, but we didn't have capital because we had to buy the lot quick. So we had to partner with a capital partner who had the money to close the deal. They brought it, I worked it. So it was kind of like a three-way partnership. We got, what was it? It was 3 acres of land in Gastonia. And I got it subdivided on the front to be 9 houses. So we basically sold those 9 houses. We got the property under contract for 60, sold it for 210. Once we got it entitled.
How long did that take?
45 days.
45 days. Damn.
Yeah.
See, when I hear entitlements, I'm thinking it's a 6-month process. So you could be able to do it in a short amount of time if you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing. So essentially what I did with this one, and what's funny is this was 2 years into the business. So, and it's funny, I hadn't even really pursued, I didn't know what I did. I just knew that it could be more than what it was on paper. And then once I started going to like more seminars and hearing like the OGs talk, they kept saying entitlement. I'm like, the fuck is that? Yeah. And then it just described something I did. I'm like, oh, okay, I've done that. And that's really what a lot of the real estate stuff is. It's stuff you do every day and they like wrap it around these big words to make it seem like it's this complicated process. Like I do this every day. Yeah. So it was like, once I kind of realized that I work harder in wholesaling than I did to get this lot split up to make 6 figures happen for everybody involved, I was like, well, why would I waste my time constantly going after the smaller deals?
Yeah.
But, you got to have the bunts to kind of keep the lights on, you know what I'm saying, before you hit a home run. But essentially, I just learned to go after the deals. And as I tell a lot of my clients, students, whatever, transitioning from being a transactional broker or a transactional investor to a project investor, where projects are what determine your life. And projects always have much better payday, easier process, because it's more of an executive process.
Gotcha. So let's talk about, are you already in the development stages?
Yes, we are. So we currently have a few projects going on right now. The main primary one we have right now, me and my boy Martin are taking on a 27-unit townhouse development in Gastonia.
Okay, so y'all building from ground up.
Ground up. We were going to just entitle it, sell it, but we're going to go all the way. Just so we can have that experience.
So in terms of the townhomes, has he done any townhomes or is this like new for both of y'all?
It's new for both of us. He just got his GC license and I finally decided to get serious.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, the scary part about this is, and the beautiful part about this business is, you can have substantial success and not really have to try that hard. I was not trying that hard. I really just decided that I wanted to be a developer a year ago, and y'all in trouble.
Yep, and I can't wait to like watch this process, because I seen y'all post talking about how y'all buying this land, what y'all plans are, and the fact that this is y'all first deal, because I'm in the process of getting my GC too. I have my exam next month.
Congrats.
So like seeing that you guys are actually doing that process, it's gonna be exciting to watch.
Man, it's a process, because what you realize real quick is, like we were saying earlier before we started, these big deals are not that hard. Like, it's longer times, it's more meetings, more consideration, but it's not that hard considering the amount of pay you can get. Because we realize how quickly in a year, how quickly 6 months can pass. We can blink. We blinked this June. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just Jenny. The ball just dropped two days ago. So it's like now here we are halfway through the year, and we take these things into consideration. Oh, that's too long to get paid. That's too long. Is it really though?
Yeah.
If you do what you're supposed to do and you have a pipeline full of stuff to do, it's not really that bad. And then until you close that first deal, you're always going to think on the transactional mindset. Transactional mindset is how many deals can I get done to get to where I need to go?
Yeah.
But a project, you get one project done, you set for 10 seasons.
Yeah, how
before
I think
you
of
gotta
it,
think.
you get 2 development deals a year, and you good for that year.
And here's the thing, right? Like, you don't even have to do the development. Entitlement process, you can simply make money selling the paperwork. So another deal I'm currently working right now in Gastonia, we got about 6 acres under contract, about 400 grand is what we got the lot for. We are about to entitle that project, get about 54 to 58 townhouses, and we're gonna sell that project for about 1.5 to 1.9.
That's gonna be
9 to 10 month process.
You already have the builder lined up who you're gonna sell to, or you're gonna put it on the market?
We might put it on market, but I mean, good thing about me being in my business, I have a lot of connections, so we ain't even really got to go that far. It's really just a matter of once we understand our yield, then we get pretty much the green light from the city. It's just easy goings at that point, but at that point, it's all politics.
Yeah.
It's more political in a development game, but I mean, politics is easy as long as you know people.
If you had to go back, right, would you still choose real estate?
All day.
And you'll
All day.
and you'll choose land before actually getting your license, or would you do it the same route?
I probably would get to do the same route. The one thing I would change would just be my thought process on how far I knew I was gonna take it. Because I didn't want to be a developer. I grew into a developer because of how good I was in my lane, and I realized the demand and need for someone that looks like myself to be in rooms like that.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of representation of authentic minority folk in the world of real estate development that are qualified to handle certain projects of a certain magnitude, or even have the gall to go after something of a certain size.
What makes you, or what gives you the confidence to think big? Because you know, most people in this land space, they make those wholesale checks, the 5, 10K on each deal. They cool with that. What giving you that confidence? Like, nah, I'm gonna just think a little bit bigger.
Why not me? Why not? Like, and it's not even a matter of like anything to prove to nobody. I've never seen myself in the light of doing anything small. So if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability, because that's just who I am. And it's not a matter of showmanship. I really could care less if people know who I am or not, which is why it's taken me this long to even really come out and do anything. But it's just a matter of, I know the power of perception. I know the power of having people know who you are and what you do because of the opportunities it can bring, but also the beacon of hope it can provide for people that don't even think it's possible, like to talk like me, look like me, do the things I do, but be in the rooms I'm in. Like, I did not graduate college. I dropped out, and people from Harvard and Yale asked my opinion all day.
That's dope, bro. And it's crazy because that's one of the reasons why I feel like this is so important. Even this conversation right now, we don't know who's going to be watching this that's going to be inspired by this.
Right.
And then another thing, somebody that's watching this may bring you deals. They seen you killing North Carolina, right?
Bring me all the deals. Any residential, commercial, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. Let's work. Don Peebles, if you watching, we working.
For sure. So any last words for the viewers?
Don't be afraid of failure. Failure is the factor of success, because if you learn to stand on top of your failures, you'll never fail.
You'll just keep learning.
You're only gonna get taller and taller in the game.
For sure. I can't wait to see what comes about, within the next year or two, seeing how much development we're gonna do, Man,
let's do it, bro. Look, I'm waiting on you, man. Look, we got a couple projects we're working on, so
For sure.
Let's put something in motion.
So if y'all want the plan on how to flip land, y'all know where to come. Game changers. That was lit, bro. Good
man.
shit.